We're going to do some Taiji at the small frame level. Taiji is how we do it. When you're doing the low movements in the small frame level, this is your base. And as a consequence of that, there's not much difference, or there's no difference, in what your feet are doing. Your hands change slightly from the low movements because it's your hands mainly that make the form into small frame form. Apart from the obvious when you just taking little steps like that for your brush knee twister and so on. Basically the base stays the same because that's the yang part and the hands are the yin part, although everything's interrelated. So we got up to all the low moves, called the bending backwards moves. When we got up to the reverse chi move, we're going to go into the low moves now. So when you took that reverse chi move, that's the only one of these movements where you take a single grip step instead of the normal bow stance. So in your training, I think I was doing it that direction, but don't worry, I'll just do it this direction anymore for the camera. So when you come to this move here, you've come here, okay. You take a long, you just go down a little bit further, take a longer step in order to get like a single grip step for that move. So it's a long, see how it's a longer step. That enables you to get down without pushing your front foot out. And that should be the same with your single grip as well. With all of these squatting movements, I think I've explained to you before, you think of this part of your body just sitting straight down on the ground. Remember, it was invented by people with shorter legs than a normal Western person, and it was much easier for them to squat down and do these low squatting movements. So, but if you think of, so you've still got to turn your left foot out. You can shuffle if you wish. If you can't get that long step, obviously, if you can't get that long step, then without going like this, it must be just a step. So you've got to drop down a little lower, and so you get it's a skinnier step as well. So you can get longer. If you can't get that, then you're going to have to go 1, 2, 3 in order to get down lower. However, if you can get that longer step, you should be able to just turn that foot out from here, and then your heel pushes out. But you think, squat down, the weight goes onto your left leg. So as you come back, just think about that, squatting down. Maybe, deal with me because that's how we'll be doing it. This is the next module. We're going from here, all right? We just all do it together. We do this whole section up until that move. Of course, it helps if you're doing angle transform. Let's just do it again all together, and I'll explain some of the minor differences. Okay, from here again. difference when I was on the ground. There's a time of sinking in the small frame fall. Something burning off and leaving ash from the floor. So from here, you'll notice that when you get down here, you don't just go straight to the next move. It's a time of, see how I'm sinking down into the move. The hands are a little smaller here rather than coming out like this, they're just coming up like this. The heel turns in and the heel turns out, and then, see how I'm sinking into it. It hurts, but you should be able to do that. Now, left turn. Now notice this is slightly different here. You start moving when your hands start coming across, and there's a slight downward movement, not that much. There's a slight downward movement before the both fists open, and then this is the same except on the end of it, you just turn your fingers. Open your hands up as normal, come up, turn your left foot, turn your right foot out, and in one hit, just let your hand plummet into the other one. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, and as I explained yesterday, males this way, females this way, 3 times. I didn't do that just then, but that's for companies. So if you're confused, because I didn't go into that. That starts the next module. Okay, this move here is sometimes called the Buddha pounds, the mortar, or the pestle, or the right? In all the Shaolin arts, it's always like this, and that's not in the internal systems. So some people say this is not in Taiji. It is in Taiji because they don't know the real old Yang style, and this is not done like that. It must be done. And out of here, first of all, this hand must roll. You see, it must. This is in the basic, so I didn't go over this because it's not going to be changed. But this comes up like that and rolls, and then the hand, if you're doing this in full, the hands won't touch, by the way, in keeping with what we've been learning. In a sort of intermediary level, the hands go like that. Just to explain what the hands do, and they run across heart and lung meridians like that. And then this goes like pigeon flies to heaven in barbed wire. So if you're doing it in real full small frame form, the hand will come up, doesn't touch, just very close to it, you feel something happening. Now when you're up there with this foot up, you must simply let the hand, you just relax your arm. And of course if you totally relax your arm will just fall, not with any power in it. So the arm just falls, literally falls. That's how much, that's what you should hear when the arm falls. Oh, just that much. That's all you do. It shouldn't be